super classic song that you can learn how to play and see how the solo can be very minimal but extremely effective is Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. This song, all you're doing is this same melody, but it's so catchy. You know, you hear it and you know exactly what it is. So let's break down this song a little bit and just discuss the basic rhythm parts of it, and then we'll look at this little melody here and give you some ideas of where you could play this, okay? So this song is in the key of G, and it's using G, D, C, D. Now, I've played this one many times live, and, you know, sometimes I'll just pick through it. You know, something like that you could do. Or if you just feel like strumming it, if you've got an acoustic or just feeling like playing some chords, you can just play those chords. And it'll be just fine. So that's all you do in the verse over and over and over. Now, when we get to the chorus, and then she asked me, that part right there, what you're going to do is go C, minor, C, D, and then you're going to go back to either the verse and just start G, D, C, D over and over and over again, or you're going to go into the what we'll call the interlude or the bridge, okay, which is the I feel wonderful, that part right there. So what happens is if we're going into that bridge, you're going to come off this part I just showed you, C, okay, here we go. So we go to G, and you just stay on G. I feel wonderful. And right there is where we're going to go into your part. So you have C, D, G, E minor. Same thing as you did in the chorus. And then you go in the one of it all, the C, D, that you just don't realize. C, D. You just repeat the C and D. That's all you're doing is tagging it with a C, D repeat. So here's your chorus, or your interlude, your bridge, whatever you want to call it. You're going C. Now the chorus would have ended here, but you're going to go back to C again, and D, and then you're going to head back into the verse section. So that's the entire song as far as chords go. In the key of G, all those chords fit in the key of G. So what I'm going to do is show you where I play Wonderful Tonight. And again, the reason I play it here is because visually it just makes sense. It's very symmetrical. It's very easy for me to memorize and remember. You know, I don't play this song for a very long time, and then all of a sudden I have to play it. So it's easier for me to pull back into my brain. So what I do is I go to the 10th fret. I'm going to use 8, 10, and 12 on the second string, and 8, 10, and 12 on the first string. Now, these 6 notes make up the notes of the key of G. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and then we don't use anymore for this song, but they are using those notes of a G major scale. Okay, so what he is doing is playing, Eric Clapton's playing. So what we're doing there is we're bending the 10th fret with our 3rd finger. I'm using the other 2 to help bend it up in the air. I'm bending it up a whole step, and then I'm going to the 8, then back to the 10. So I have... Then I do it again, but this time what I'm going to do is go to the 9th fret of the 3rd string, okay? Which is just an octave of the 12th fret of the 1st string. That's the only time I change strings from those 2 strings right there. Then I'm going to go back and do this again, but I pause after I play that 8. So instead of going... I'm going, and I'm just waiting. So let me play the beginning of that, and you play along with me if you've got your guitar handy. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And again, and then. Okay, try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now what I'm going to do is just a walk up. I'm going to go 10, 12, 8, 10. Okay, so 8, I'm going, 10, 12, 8, 10. And when I get to that 10, what I'm going to do is slide up to the 12. So it looks like this. Okay. Now again, fingers, this is so slow it doesn't really matter what fingers you use. I'm using, because I'm playing this third finger on the 10th fret, I'm just using third and then third again, and then first, and then third slide, and then I go back to the 10 on the first string with my first finger. So I have... Okay, that's how I use it, that's how I finger it, and that's how it looks on the guitar for me, okay? Now again, we're going to go through this a couple more times, then I'm going to show you some alternate places that you can do this that might make more sense in your head to play. So here we go, together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Here we go. And as usual, don't worry about the vibrato and all that sort of thing. Just try and get the rhythm in your head and the visualization, and then start working on, for instance, your bending. Make sure your bend is getting high enough, right? Make sure when you come back down, you've got that sound, and you're keeping pressure here, so as you come down, it doesn't die like this, right? You want to keep that pressure on, so when you come back down, you can hear it. Okay? One little embellishment that I use a lot when I'm playing this, and you certainly don't have to do it, but sometimes I'll slide from the 10 to the 12 just to add some spice into it, so I do something like this. Here it comes. Instead of going... It's just a little subtle thing that I can do to make it sound a little more interesting than just going... And again, either one is fine. I'm just explaining to you some of the nuances that I use when I'm playing. Or, you see, either one is just fine, okay? So that's all there really is to this solo, to this melody of this song. But let's look at some other places that you might be interested in playing this. Now, if you like to think of things in terms of pentatonic, we could look at maybe the G major pentatonic, which is the same as E minor pentatonic. And again, I'm not going to get into a discussion about that, but it's sitting right here using 12, 15, 12, 14 right here. So maybe your eyes like to see that a little bit better. And if you do, we can play this idea here, going like this. So now I'm on 14 and 12 on the third string, doing the exact same thing. But my lower note then would be 14 on the fourth string. Okay? And then when I build up, I'm going to go... And if I did that, I'd have 14, 12, 13, 12, 15. Okay, now if I play it that way, I don't really get all the slides as much unless I add them in. You know, I could do that and still get the slide effect, and that's okay. Okay, another way that you could look at that, if it's easier for you, you might want to try and see it on a couple of strings instead. So you might go, then right here you go, and if you like that better, what I'm doing is going 14, 16, 17, 17, 15. And I can still add slides. You know, if I choose to, something like that. Okay, that's another option you'd have. And a third option is kind of combining those ideas. You could do same thing here. And then here we're going to go 14, 16, 13, and then slide up to your 17 if you choose to, and then 15. So instead of playing the 13 Over here on the 17th fret of the 3rd string, we just play the 13 there. And my point isn't for you to go, oh my gosh, there's so many things Steve's talking about, I need to learn all these. You don't. All I'm doing is just showing you some different examples of how you could do the same thing in a different spot. So if you're looking at the way I'm playing it here and you're going, that just doesn't jive with how I play, I'm telling you right now, good, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? The pitches are what we're looking for. The position is not what we care about, okay? You play it wherever it is that's most comfortable for you. So if you don't care to play it in this position that I'm playing it in, or you see somebody else play it and you go, hey, why are they playing it there? That's why, because you're just playing the same notes in a different place. That's okay. So you've got a whole host of different ways that you could play this, depending on what feels most comfortable to you and what looks most comfortable for you to memorize. So when you come back to it sometime, it's very easy for you to grab it and just go. You don't have to go work it out or anything. You can just play it, which is always really nice. Like if you ever get to the point where, if you're not already there, where you might go out and watch a band and they might ask you to get up, or you're going to go to jam night or something like that, it's nice to have a few of these kinds of songs under your belt so you're ready to go, because they're fairly easy to learn and they're fairly easy to memorize. So this is a perfect one for that. So you don't want to have to try and figure it out. You just want to be able to look and go, oh, okay, this is what I got. Or, oh, I like it here. So anyway, another really fun song for you to check out.